Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some seriously fascinating territory today. Paimon, the king of hell.
Ah, Paimon.
Yeah, and before you think, oh, just another demon,
Right.
this one, he's got layers.
He does, he does.
Our source material, an article called Paimon, the king of hell,
Okay.
it suggests he might be like this gatekeeper
Oh, interesting.
of 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 forbidden knowledge
Yeah.
or maybe wisdom. I don't know. We're going to find out.
What's really interesting about Paimon is that he's not just like some, uh, low-level demon. He's like royalty in the demonic hierarchy.
Kook.
He's often depicted as a king commanding legions of demons, which places him pretty high up there, especially when you look at grimoires, particularly the Lesser Key of Solomon.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't super familiar with the occult, what is the Lesser Key of Solomon?
So the Lesser Key of Solomon is a grimoire, and a grimoire is basically, think of it as a textbook of magic.
Oh, okay.
It compiles rituals, incantations, instructions for summoning spirits and demons. So yeah, like a guide to navigating the supernatural world, though, not without risks.
Okay, well, duly noted. So in this 17th century grimoire, Paimon's ranked ninth out of 72 demons, and he's called the King of the West.
Hmm.
Now, what's the connection between this title and historical ideas about the West?
Well, the West has long been associated with mystery and transition.
Right.
If you think about like the setting sun or
Mm.
the land of the dead in various mythologies,
Mm.
there's this idea that the West represents kind of a liminal space, a gateway to the afterlife.
Oh, okay.
So Paimon's as King of the West could be interpreted as like a guardian or guide in this context.
Interesting.
A figure who holds dominion over this boundary between worlds.
So it's like he's a gatekeeper to the unknown.
Yeah.
And what about his appearance? Because he's often shown with a more androgynous look, like a man but with a feminine face adorned with a crown.
Right, and that androgyny is likely very deliberate.
Okay.
It hints at this kind of duality, this mystery.
Mm.
Paimon's not easily categorized.
Right.
He exists in this in-between space, embodying both masculine and feminine aspects.
Yeah, and he rides a dromedary.
Oh, yeah.
That's not exactly like the classic image of a horrifying demon.
No, not the fire and brimstone, no.
No.
But that dromedary, it's not just for show.
Okay.
If you think about what a dromedary represents, traveling these vast distances, traversing challenging terrain,
Mm.
symbolically, it really reinforces this idea of Paimon as a being who can move between realms, connecting the earthly and the spiritual.
So we've got King of the West, androgynous look, riding a dromedary, commands legions of demons.
Yeah.
What would make someone want to risk summoning this guy?
So, the power that Paimon offers is, it's not brute force, it's knowledge.
Oh, okay.
He's known for bestowing wisdom upon those who seek him out, philosophy, the arts, even the secrets to wealth and influence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's almost like he's offering this shortcut to enlightenment.
Okay, that's tempting, but I'm guessing there's a catch.
Of course,
Okay,
right.
what's the price of all this forbidden knowledge?
Well, there's always a risk when dealing with powerful entities.
Right.
The grimoires,
Mhm.
including the Lesser Key of Solomon, they detail these very elaborate summoning rituals.
Oh, okay.
But even the slightest mistake, could have disastrous consequences.
So tell me about these rituals. What did they actually entail?
Okay, so imagine, you're a summoner back in the 17th century.
Okay.
You would begin with this intense period of preparation, fasting, purifying yourself through prayer, finding a secluded, consecrated spot, often under the cover of night.
Spooky.
Right, and then you would meticulously draw this magic circle on the ground,
Okay.
which acts as this protective barrier against the forces that you're about to invoke.
Okay, so I'm already getting nervous just picturing all of this. So then what? You just like call out Paimon's name and hope for the best?
Well, not quite. Offerings are a crucial part of the ritual. These offerings could be, precious stones, metals, incense, or even, and this is where it gets a little,
Yeah.
darker. In some traditions, animal sacrifices.
Oh, wow.
Although, modern occultists would strongly discourage such practices today.
Right, right.
The point is to appease Paimon, demonstrate your respect for his power.
It seems like every step is just designed to really emphasize how serious this is. You're not ordering a pizza. You're invoking a king of hell.
Exactly. The rituals are this testament to the belief that These entities are real and incredibly powerful.
So you've done all this preparation. You've summoned Paimon. You're face to face.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Well, descriptions of Paimon generally paint him as proud and eloquent,
Okay.
even persuasive.
Interesting.
Some texts actually describe him as demanding respect, but also willing to engage in a kind of dialogue with the summoner.
Is it true that some people view this interaction as almost like a battle of wills?
Well, I think it's more nuanced than just a power struggle.
Okay.
Those who approach Paimon with confidence, and genuine respect are said to fare better than those who cower in fear. It's about understanding this complex dynamic at play.
Yeah.
You're recognizing Paimon's power, but also asserting your own agency.
It sounds like there's a real fine line to walk between respect and just like total subservience.
I think so, yeah.
You're not just like making a deal with Paimon, you're entering a relationship with him,
Yeah.
however temporary that might be.
Right. And summoning Paimon isn't just about getting what you want,
Right.
It's about understanding the forces at play and navigating this really potentially dangerous landscape.
With both caution and intention.
Absolutely.
And this brings us back to that question we posed at the beginning.
Right.
Is Paimon evil, or is there something more to him?
That's a question we'll have to explore further when we return.
Ooh, cliffhanger. Okay, so we left off with this image of, like someone standing face to face with Paimon.
Right. This king of hell who also, might be a source of wisdom.
Yeah.
It really makes you rethink this whole idea of demons as just pure evil.
It does to me. The way Paimon is portrayed, at least in some occult circles, is as this complex figure whose influence really depends on the summoner, their intentions.
Okay.
He's not necessarily good or evil, but rather this force that can be used for either purpose.
So it's like he's this mirror reflecting the summoner's desires.
Yeah.
If you come at it with good intentions,
Yeah.
looking for knowledge to better yourself, maybe help others, maybe the outcome's positive.
Right.
But if you're, selfish or your desires are going to hurt people, well, that's where things get dicey.
Exactly, and that's a really important point to consider. Some occultists believe that Paimon, like a lot of these powerful entities, doesn't really have a fixed moral compass.
Okay.
He responds to the energy and intentions you bring to the interaction.
Right.
So if you approach him with respect and a genuine desire for knowledge,
You might find a guide, even a teacher.
yeah,
But if you're motivated by, greed or a lust for power or just a desire to control,
yeah,
well, then you're probably going to see a different side to Paimon.
it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, it is.
You get what you asked for, but maybe not in the way you thought you would.
Right, exactly.
So it's this reminder that knowledge, especially this kind of knowledge that Paimon's supposed to offer, comes with a huge responsibility.
It absolutely does. It's not just about acquiring knowledge.
Right?
It's about understanding its implications and using it wisely.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole idea of knowledge as this double-edged sword, this is a theme that we see all throughout history across cultures.
It's interesting how this whole fascination with Paimon isn't just found in these dusty old grimoires,
Yeah.
He pops up in pop culture all the time.
He does.
Take the movie Hereditary.
Mhm.
I mean, he's portrayed as a pretty terrifying force in that.
Oh, for sure. Paimon's presence in pop culture, I think, speaks to our enduring fascination with the demonic and the unknown.
Right.
These figures represent, the shadowy aspects of ourselves, the desires and fears we might not always acknowledge.
Mm.
And Paimon, with his connection to, forbidden knowledge and the potential for both creation and destruction, he embodies that duality perfectly.
I never thought of it that way, but yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. We're drawn to these stories even if they kind of scare us
Yeah,
because they tap into something, primal within us.
exactly. It's about confronting our fears, exploring the darkness, and ultimately,
Yeah.
trying to understand ourselves better.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't summoning demons in our basements or reading these ancient grimoires, what can we take away from all of this?
Well, I think Paimon's story, whether you believe in it literally or not,
Mhm.
offers us this valuable lesson in self-awareness. It challenges us to really examine our own motivations,
Mhm.
and consider the potential consequences of our desires.
It sounds like a call to be mindful of our intentions and approach seeking out knowledge with a sense of responsibility, humility.
Absolutely.
We can't just chase power or knowledge without like thinking about like the impact, right, on ourselves and the people around us.
Precisely. Paimon's story, again, whether you take it literally or metaphorically, it underscores the importance of ethical considerations in all of our actions.
Okay, so we've got this king of hell, potential source of forbidden wisdom, and a figure that challenges us to examine our own desires.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot to think about. What are some of the takeaways you think are most important for our listener?
Well, I think it's crucial to remember that Paimon is a complex figure. He's shrouded in mystery, and there's a lot open to interpretation.
Right.
Whether you see him as this malevolent entity or a potential source of wisdom, his story highlights this enduring human fascination with the unknown.
Yeah.
The forces that lie beyond our comprehension.
It's almost like he represents that part of us that craves knowledge, even if it's forbidden.
Right.
That wants to push the boundaries of like what we're supposed to know.
It's that transgression.
Yeah.
That willingness to like venture beyond those boundaries, of what we're supposed to know.
And in a world where like information is increasingly controlled and manipulated,
Right.
maybe figures like Paimon represent this yearning for something like more authentic, even if it's like wrapped up in darkness and mystery.
Right.
It's a reminder that knowledge, like in its purest form, can be both, liberating and kind of unsettling at the same time.
It is, yeah.
It can challenge our beliefs,
Absolutely.
disrupt the status quo and push us outside our comfort zones.
It can be, it can be a little disruptive.
Yeah.
And that's maybe why Paimon continues to fascinate us. He really embodies the risks and rewards of seeking knowledge, of questioning authority and confronting the unknown.
So it seems like we've unearthed some pretty insightful stuff from our deep dive into demonology today.
I think so.
It's not just like scary stories and rituals. It's about understanding ourselves and where we fit in this world.
Exactly. Whether we view these figures, as literal entities or just symbolic representations, their stories offer us these valuable lessons about the nature of knowledge, the power of our own intentions, and the importance of ethics when it comes to, the pursuit of understanding.
So to our listener, we leave you with this final thought.
Okay.
What does Paimon's story tell you about your own relationship with knowledge? What are you curious about? And what risks are you willing to take to explore the unknown?
Keep questioning, keep seeking, and keep diving deep.
That's a question that really makes you think, like we're just surrounded by information all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what to believe, Maybe these figures like Paimon, who like embodies forbidden knowledge, they offer like an escape from all the noise of everyday life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe there's a certain intrigue to exploring those areas of knowledge that are kind of off limits.
Yeah.
Like, Paimon, he represents that kind of transgression, right? That willingness to go beyond what we're supposed to know.
Like a rebellion against the idea that some knowledge is just too dangerous, too powerful for us to handle.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a part of us that wants to see what's beyond that,
Yeah, and in a world where information is so, increasingly controlled and manipulated, maybe figures like Paimon represent this yearning for something more authentic, even if it's wrapped up in this darkness and mystery.
Yeah. It's a reminder that knowledge, like real raw knowledge, can be both liberating and a little unsettling.
Absolutely.
It challenges what we believe. It can shake things up, push us out of our comfort zones.
Yeah, and maybe that's why we're still so fascinated by Paimon. He really embodies both the risks and the rewards of searching for knowledge, of questioning those in authority, and confronting the unknown.
I feel like we've really gone deep today.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, it's not just about scary stories and demons, right?
No, not at all.
It's about understanding ourselves and our place in this world.
Right, exactly. Whether we see these figures as, these literal beings or symbolic representations, Their stories have a lot to teach us about the nature of knowledge itself.
Sure.
The power of our own intentions, and the importance of ethics when we're trying to understand things.
Yeah.
That pursuit of knowledge, that search for understanding, it has to be done responsibly,
Right.
ethically.
Okay, so to our listeners, we'll leave you with this. What does Paimon's story tell you about your own relationship with knowledge? What are you curious about? And what risks are you willing to take to explore the unknown?
Keep asking those questions, keep searching, and keep diving deep.
That's it for today, folks. Until next time, stay curious.